and became overwhelming because people who finally saw my 15 minutes of fame, now they were showing appreciation, but I was confusing that for love. And so I went down this downward spiral because I felt like, okay, I had to do this. I couldn't say no to people. I couldn't say no to this because Jaheim, they helped me, they pushed me, they did this. And so I felt like, because I thought they loved me, because I thought they did this and that, I thought by giving my fully of myself and giving all of myself that I was returning the love. Can I tell you this? Love does not need a return. Love does not need a return. If somebody loves you, if something loves you, if something is showing, somebody is showing love to you, then they don't need a return in investment because it's a mutual contract. It's a mutual understanding. And so what I'm trying to tell you is you have to examine this week and maybe this month and maybe this year, no matter how long it may take you, what is love? What is love in your book? Because you can't under you well, what's up, family? It's your boy Jaheim, president, for another episode of Legacy Builders Podcast. We each week we dive into something deeper, and we dive into something better, and we dive into something that is more profound and more ways to help our lives and to improve our lives. Because I like I said, um, this year my theme is to live in the 1% and to get out of comfortability. Can I tell you this? The first part of the year, the first month of the year, we it's been uncomfortable, but it's me living in the 1%, me finding out the path and the space for myself and the life and where I need to be. But we have entered the best month of the year, February. Woo! Talk my February, baby. Shout out to all of y'all. Y'all are definitely important. Y'all are definitely needed. Y'all are definitely y'all are legends. So yeah, get into that. But today I want to talk about um and it's so funny. Love. So many people use your name in vain. Love. Oh, the better words I still will put you first. And can I tell you this? And as we examine this month, um and 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 I want to examine it romantically, but I also want to examine it just what are you in love with? What are you in love with? I think that's a very necessary point in life. I think that's a very I think many of us really don't understand what we really are in love with. And many of us don't understand really the power of love. I think we use it so interchangeable. Like I I'm gonna get there, but we use it so interchangeable. But can I tell you this? Love is a very powerful emotion. Is a very powerful thing that really trickles down in a lot of ways. Because can I tell you this? Love has an ability to warp, not warp, but change reality. It has the ability um to shift your mindset, and it has the ability to control your mindset and to control things. And what I really had to realize, and I was going down this list this week and just reflecting as I was preparing for this podcast, I had to ask the question, what do I love? Not who, but what do I love? And here's a harder question: what do I love about myself? Because and trickling down this week and really preparing this week, I had to really answer that question, like, what do I love? Like, really, Jaheim, what do you love? What makes you, what has that powerful emotion inside of you that that makes you want to get up out of the bed and do something crazy. Want to make you get out of bed and to pursue this act of love. Because here it is, the act of love is different than what you love. And what I had to realize is I had to define what love is. And I had to define what my ability and my capacity to act on what I love. Because so many of us, we love so much, we love a lot of stuff. We've defined that we love a lot of stuff, but we don't have per se the capacity to fully love what we love. And many of us, that's the reason why we go through so much things and when we go through so much cycles is because we can't we don't have the capacity. Some of us don't have the capacity yet to fully love what we love. And I'm not saying who we love is what we love. Listen, I love being a podcaster. I love helping people. I love encouraging people. I love doing all of these things. I really do. But when I first started out podcasting, I didn't have the capacity and I didn't have the wherewithal and I didn't have the understanding to fully love this craft, to fully invest in this craft. Can I tell you this? What you love, you will fully invest in. And sometimes, here it is, who you love, you will fully invest in. If you love education, if you love your career, if you love your this and that, you're going to do the best of your ability to love it the right way. You're going to do your best of your ability to make sure that you create, that you surround yourself, that you uplift this love, that you nurture this love, that you what will make life easier this year is define what you love. And if you can't define 10 things that you love, whether it be, and we're not talking about people yet. I'm just talking about concepts, mindset. If you love education, if you love your dream job, if you love systems, if you love this or that, whatever you may love, I'll give you five things I love. I love podcasts. I love my family. I love helping people. I love people who don't know, I'm a preacher. So I love the word of God and I love the calling. And sixth thing, I love myself. Fifth thing, I love myself. And so what I had to realize and I had to examine, am I really putting the necessary things and the necessary steps? And am I really doing the necessary things to love these things? And here it is. Am I giving it the right reverence? Am I giving it the right things? Am I giving it enough time to love those things in its proper place, in its proper space? Many of us, we're going around in circles. We're doing this and we're doing that because we love so many different things, and so many of us are overwhelmed because we feel ourselves being pulled this way and that way. Is because you're trying to give yourself and you're trying to give your love, your heart, your mind, your soul, whatever, to the things that you love. So it may be a new job, it may be a career, but you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that. It may be trying to get your education, but you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. It may be it may be in a relationship, you're trying to do it may be friendship, but you find yourself overwhelmed. And I've come to really just talk to you about the feeling of overwhelmness and the feeling of not feeling enough and not feeling worthy of love. Because can I tell you, some of us, the reason why we pull ourselves in different direction, or some of us are trying to find love. We're trying to find something in someone or somebody or some job or some education or some degree to validate us and to validate that we are able and capable of loving, of being loved. And can I tell you this? For years, I started to put love in a category of, okay, if I get praise, then that means they love me. So as a football player, I was a good football player. And if I would get the sack and if I would do this, and I would do that, and I would hear the raw, and I would see my name in the news, if I see my name in that, and I equivalent that to love. No, that could be appreciation. I appreciate they're appreciating me for my gift. That doesn't mean they love me for my gift. And many of us, we are confusing appreciation for love. We're confusing applaudness for love. No, there may be some people that love you because of your gift or because of what you produce, or what, because some of you may love me because I produce this podcast, but I know most of you are appreciative of me because I produce this podcast, because I'm sharing this with the world. But I have to find the space, and I have to find the place, and I have to find the systems, and I have to find what works, and I have to find love that works for me. Can I tell you this? I really had to stop myself. My life began to transition from 2019. Like 2019 was a year of so much transition for me. It's always the odd years. It's always the odd years of my transition, even years, whatever. But then 2019, I went on the Ellen show. I went on the Ellen show. My senior year high school. I went on the Ellen show, and I was, when I got back, it was so much, and became overwhelming, because people who finally saw my 15 minutes of fame, now they were showing appreciation, but I was confusing that for love. And so I went down this downward spiral, because I felt like, okay, I had to do this. I couldn't say no to people. I couldn't say no to this, because Jaheim, they helped me, they pushed me, they did this. And so I felt like, because I thought they loved me, because I thought they did this and that, I thought by giving my fully of myself and giving all of myself, that I was returning the love. Can I tell you this? Love does not need a return. Love does not need a return. If somebody loves you, if something loves you, if something is showing, somebody is showing love to you, then they don't need a return in investment, because it's a mutual contract. It's a mutual understanding. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, you have to examine this week, and maybe this month, and maybe this year, no matter how long it may take you, what is love? What is love in your book? Because you can't define someone else's version of love and what they may think love is to what your version of love. I was talking to my students the other day, and I was baffled how so many people, and so many of them, were already saying they love the person they're dating. And I was so baffled, because I understand the power of that word, love. Listen, when somebody tells you they love you, for me, if I'm telling you that I love you, that means I love not what you do for me. I love what you add to me, and what you make me, and what you make me, and what you make help me to become, and what you help me to create. See, and so what I was telling them was that is such a powerful word. If you tell something and someone that you love it, listen, and it doesn't have a control of you, but it has a piece of you. Because what you love, you're saying, when you say you love something, and when you love someone, and you love something, you're saying, hey, I'm willing to give you a part of me. Here it is, back to that mutual contract, mutual concept. So when I'm telling you I love something, or when I'm telling someone I love them, or I made up my mind, I love podcasting. I love doing this. I love being a mini content creator, soon to be full content creator, because I see the mutual contract that it has made. I've seen the people that have been able to be helped by my words. I've seen the people that has been be able to kind of navigate this thing called life. But I had to separate that it was love, not me lusting after something. Because some of us are lusting after people, some of us are lusting after positions, some of us are lusting after things. And what the dangerous thing of lust will, once lust is gone, it it leaves an empty void that must be fulfilled and filled up about something else from lust. But when you love something, when you love someone, or when you love whatever, when you love something, you can live with a not returning investment because maybe they're going to return something in a different way. See, listen, the how I know that I love podcasting is because not by the views, not by the likes, not by that. Is when I randomly get a DM. Man, Jaheim, that episode helped me. Man, when I see some of my students who say, "Mr. President, I watch the podcast. I listen to the podcast, and you don't know how you've been able to help me." That is a confirmation to the mutual agreement that I've had with this podcast, that it is. It's not by me getting money. Now, I'm not saying I don't want no money. But that's not my end all be all. So once you define love, you have to figure out what is going, or whatever you love and whoever you love. And we're not going to get who. And I really want to talk more about what you love, money, whatever. You have to find the mutual agreement, and you have to be okay with what you're getting in return. So if you're not okay with what you're getting in return, then that leads to problem. That leads to where you may feel that you're not good enough. That may lead to where you may feel that you're not strong enough. And then that leads to some things where you feel like you got to change. And I'm not saying all people change for things and places and people, but then it leads you to that faulty thinking that you're enough. Because like I said in the last episode, you have to be able to, besides whatever you love, you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and love yourself first. Yeah, you do. You have to be able to look yourself in the mirror every day and find something about you that you love. Now, listen, I'm on this weight loss journey. There some days I looked at my body and I'm like, hey, hey, oh, no, 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 And then there's some days I look at my body and I'm like, Jaheim, now you shouldn't eat that. Jaheim, you shouldn't have ate that. Jaheim, why are you drinking that lemonade? But then I have to find something else. So when I don't like my body, I like my thinking. When I don't like I like what I was able to contribute for that day. See, I find something. I find something to be appreciative of, and there's that mutual contract, because it is, and I'm not expecting the same return every day, and I think that's what's wrong with the world, and that's why a lot of people have a false sense of love and have a false sense of identities, because you want everyone to love you the same, and you want everyone to return what you give. But then you have to realize, and I told some of my students this, and I told some of my friends this last week, not everyone thinks like you, not everyone responds like you, not everyone do this, then do this like this. And so the problem that many of us lead to is that we're expecting us in everything that we are attached to, everything that we love. We're expecting to get the same type of stuff. Sometimes in life, it's 50-50. Sometimes in life, it's 60-40. Sometimes some seasons is 70-30, 80-20, 90-10. But you have to be willing enough, and you have to be kind of blessed enough, and you kind of have to have an understanding with what you love, and how what you love wants to be loved, and how what you love needs to be loved. And we'll talk about that next week. But there are some friendships, there are some people that you can say something to them this way, and if you tell your friend the same friend y'all may have, y'all, you receive differently. And so I want you this week, as you enter this mindset of life, I want you to define 10 things that you love. 10 things, not people. We'll talk about people next week, but 10 things that you love, and see what is what is it we're requiring from you to give that love, and what do you expect, and what may be the mutual agreement that love is taking you. Like I talked about the podcast, education. I'm a teacher. Every day is not sunshine and rain. Listen, every day, that don't mean my students are going to pass the test. That don't mean my students are going to know everything that I'm teaching them. Now, there are days where we're on the money. There are days where we're like da da da, but then I'm able to help them with life problems. I'm able to help them to discover themselves, and so there it is. I get joy in that, and I also get joy when they get A's and B's. And so what I've learned is, with love, there's a why. Why do you love what you love? Why are you willing to give that 50% or that whatever percentage of you to make 100? Why are you doing that? Why do you love what you love? Why? You can't, and get out of this. Sometimes we, especially we see this in Christian, a lot of people go to church and be like, oh, I'm going to church because my granny went to church, my daddy went to church. No. It's all about getting a personal relationship with God for yourself and discovering your why. And I talked about that on one of my Mr. President's life lessons. I talked about knowing your why. And not realizing that why and love go together. Why do you love what you love? Why do you love your career? Why are you willing to invest in that? Why? And when you find your why, you're able and more equipped to love that thing, that person, that place better. Because in 2025, I want you to be able to love better. I want you to be able to love without any hesitation, without any distractions, without any this or any that. What's love got to do with it? God, this whole month is going to be crazy. But what does love have to do with it? And why do you love this? And why do you love that? So what do you love? What do you love? What do you love? Give me 10 things. If you can drop that in the comments, or you can DM me. Even if you can't give 10, if you can only give 5, if you can only give 3, man, if you can only give 1, what do you love? And when you start verbalizing what you love and where do you want your love to be placed, then you'll start to navigate some seasons in your life better. You won't be wandering in the ether. No. Well, family, that's all I have for you tonight or today or whenever you're watching this. Just remember to like, share, and like on at Jaheim President TV on YouTube, at Legacy Builders Podcast on Amazon Music, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Anywhere you find podcasts, you'll find me looking like this, pointing at you, making sure you listen in at Legacy Builders Podcast. That's all I have for you, family. See you next week.